Hello everyone. Let me start with a question. Have you ever tried looking at the fine veins on a leaf? Without a magnifying glass, they almost disappear, right? Now imagine something even smaller, the living building blocks of all organisms called cells. For centuries, scientists had no idea such tiny units even existed because they were invisible to the naked eye. It was like staring at a locked door without a key. But then came the invention of microscopes. Suddenly, an entire hidden universe was revealed inside plants, animals, and even our own bodies. This discovery didn't just satisfy curiosity, it gave birth to an entirely new branch of science, cell biology. Let's step back in history to meet Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the Dutch scientist often called the father of microbiology. Born in 1632 and living until 1723, Leeuwenhoek constructed the very first simple microscopes. His design was ingenious yet minimal, using just a single biconvex lens that could magnify tiny objects up to 200 times. What's remarkable is that he wasn't a trained scientist, but an ordinary public official who ground lenses as a hobby. Over his lifetime, he crafted more than 400 microscopes, each by hand. In his setup, the specimen was mounted on a pin, and by placing the eye close to the lens, Leeuwenhoek revealed an unseen world of microorganisms, forever changing the course of biology. Now let's move to another milestone in the history of biology, Robert Hooke. Born in 1635 and living until 1703, Hooke made significant improvements to the microscope by introducing two lenses for greater magnification. In the year 1665, he observed thin slices of cork under his microscope. What he saw was fascinating: countless tiny, box-like compartments. These reminded him of the small rooms, or cells, in a monastery. That is how the word cell was born. This marked the very first time that living units were described in structural terms, laying the foundation for cell biology. Hooke's microscope was different from Leeuwenhoek's. It used two lenses, an objective lens near the specimen and an eyepiece lens to view it. That's why we call it a compound microscope. The specimen was placed on a stage, and light from an oil lamp was reflected by a concave mirror. The light then passed through a flask of water to focus on the specimen, giving Hooke a clearer image. This clever design became the foundation of modern compound microscopes, which are still the most common instruments in schools and labs today. Finally, let's look at the ordinary compound microscope, the one most familiar to us today. It is essentially a more advanced version of Hooke's original design. The compound microscope has a clear structure. It includes an eyepiece at the top, a body tube, a rotating nose piece with objective lenses of different magnifications, a stage with clips to hold the specimen, and a built-in light source. By carefully bending light through its glass lenses, this microscope can magnify specimens up to 2,000 times. Even with all the technological advances in science, the compound microscope remains a vital tool in schools and laboratories around the world, helping students and scientists study the intricate structure of cells. In the 20th century, science took a giant leap with the invention of the electron microscope. Unlike the ordinary compound microscope, this powerful instrument could magnify objects up to 200,000 times. Instead of using glass lenses, the electron microscope relies on beams of electrons, which are bent and focused by magnets to create a highly detailed image. With this breakthrough, scientists were able to explore the fine inner structures of cells such as mitochondria, ribosomes, and even strands of DNA. Truly, the electron microscope revolutionized biology by opening a window into the ultrastructure of life itself. So, what started with Leeuwenhoek's tiny lenses and Hooke's cork slice turned into a scientific revolution. Leeuwenhoek revealed living cells for the first time. Hooke gave us the word cell. And the microscope, in all its evolving forms, gave us the foundation for modern cell theory. Think about this: everything we know today in biology, from genetics to medicine, from vaccines to DNA research, stands on the shoulders of these inventions. And now, whenever you use a microscope in your lab, remember, you're peeking into the same hidden world that amazed scientists centuries ago. That's the beauty of biology. Life is full of mysteries waiting to be revealed. See you in our next lesson, when we dive into cell theory, the grand explanation of the cellular nature of life.